We join with other UUs in the tradition of striking the gong 3 times, once in memory of those who have gone before, once in honor of you here with us today, and once for those who will come to this sacred home in the future. Welcome to the Umpqua Unitarian Universalist Congregation. Here you can feel free to be who you are and will be accepted with warmth and friendship. However you describe yourself or name the holy, you are most welcome here. Special welcome to those who are new here today, and those recently new. We are so glad you are here with us. You're invited to stay after this service for coffee and tea so we can all get to know each other better. We hope you enjoy your time here and that you find what you came for. Okay. Okay, so next we're going to get our blood rolling, and we're going to sing a song a little bit different than you know it, because today is all about creativity. So we're going to get creative. We're going to get rid of some of our inhibitions maybe and try something new, have some fun and joy, okay? So this song is This Little Light of Mine.
And we have new verses that you may or may not have heard yet. So be ready for changes.
Stand or stay seated, Sean.
Oh, we definitely have to stand up. We got to get our energy moving. Come on.
Stand up.
Everybody, rise as you are able. And you may not even know some of your abilities yet, because you're going to discover them today. And one of them is going to be clapping, right?
Oh, yeah, clap.
Okay.
Everyone clap.
Not only clapping, but see if you can do this. Try to clap on the offbeat, on the backbeat. So if I'm going, okay, right, the backbeat is in between my foot.
See it there?
Got it. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. A lot less smoke and a lot more light. A lot less smoke and a lot more light. I'm gonna let it shine. A lot less smoke and a lot more light. I'm gonna let it shine. A lot less smoke and a lot more light. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Through this stained glass window, through this stained glass window, I'm gonna let it shine. In harmony, through this stained glass window, I'm gonna let it shine. Through this stained glass window, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Same light shines in every light shines in every lamp. I'm gonna let it shine. Same light shines in every lamp. I'm gonna let it shine. Same light shines in every lamp. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. This little light. This little light. This little light. I'm gonna let it shine. This little light. This little light. I'm gonna let it shine. This little light. I'm gonna let it shine. 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 Woohoo! All right, good job on the clapping there. Lovely harmonies.
So, So I was supposed to do the welcome now. Sorry. All right. UUUC acknowledges the people who came before us on this land called the Umpqua. Their name graces our congregation and the river that flows through our valley. We make this acknowledgement in recognition of the gifts of the Umpqua tribe, and may it be a part of the path toward healing. Please check out the announcements in the insert of your order of service that you got at the door, along with upcoming events. Much appreciation goes to our staff, our greeters, Gemma and Dana, our media wizard back there, Jake Tranter, our music director, Sean Shea, and our church administrator, Genevieve Gonzalez. We now move in compassion for those in need who are hungry, maybe also ill, maybe also without shelter. Our congregation's service to the greater Roseburg community is to collect your contributions of food and money for the Fish Food Pantry. This is a combined effort of many Roseburg churches, and we thank you for helping the less fortunate ones among us. And now we give a heartfelt welcome to our live stream audience listening from home. Okay, and now I'll invite Al to come up and give us a little talk about the pledge drive.
Thank you, Susie. And greetings to all of you on what is shaping up to be a beautiful Easter morning. And Easter is celebrated by Christians all around the world. And as you who have heard me speak before, I consider myself to be a secular Christian. But it's still an important day for me because I'm a big fan of Jesus. Yeah. Amen. Yeah, amen. Anyway, and besides being a special day on Easter, it's a special day for us. We are in about the middle of our pledge drive, and it is going pretty well at this point. And we have pledges now totaling $53,000, about 60% of our goal. And I wanted to draw your attention to the tapestry in front of the podium, which has a flame on it. And the theme of our pledge drive this year is lighting the flame. Now, what does the flame reference? I mean, to me, it references three things. First off, we are using it as an indicator of how we're doing on the pledge drive. So it is getting brighter and brighter as more pledges come in. And we hope it'll be a big old bright flame by the time we're done. The flame also represents our Unitarian Universalist tradition. And it's on pretty much everything that UUs do. But I think it does something even further. I think it indicates the love that we share and what binds us here. And I guess it brings up the question, JC spoke last Sunday and pointed out the practical things. We turn the lights on, we have a building to take care of. We have Sunday speakers who are a mix of guest speakers who we reimburse, plus members. And we also have, staff to pay and so on and so forth. So that's the practicality of it. But what brings us to church today or any day? And for me, it's a couple of things. Number one, I love our principles. I love the fact that we don't have to worry about dogma, that we can be free thinkers, we can follow our own path, and many people who are here on Sundays are seeking their own path. But also, we are a welcoming congregation. We don't have that official authority from the Unitarian Universalist Association yet, but we're working on it. But whether or not we are officially in that bracket or not, we are a welcoming congregation for all people. And I just want to leave you with this, that, we all have our own reasons to be here, but if we don't have a successful pledge drive, how we function will change. We won't be able to provide as many services, as many speakers, and so on. So this is critically important. So if you have already pledged, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you have not yet pledged, if you've got your pledge materials at home and thinking about it, please return your pledges early and generously. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Al. That was really sweet. Okay. Okay, now it's time to light the chalice. Yeah, Kathy. The time has come to turn your heart into a temple of fire. Your essence is gold, hidden in dust. To reveal its splendor, you need to burn in the fire of love. That was Rumi. And our opening words are also from Rumi. The poem is Every Moment. Every moment, a voice out of this world calls on our soul to wake up and rise. This soul of ours is like a flame with more smoke than light, blackening our vision, letting no light through. Lessen the smoke, and more light brightens your house, the house you dwell in now, and the abode you'll eventually move to. Now, my precious soul, how long are you going to waste yourself in this wandering journey? Can't you hear the voice? Can't you use your swifter wings and answer the call? Okay, now's the time that we'll have a celebration of your creative spirit. Are you ready? This might take you a little bit out of your comfort zone, but won't you be brave today? Let yourself have some freedom, some fun, some joy. So you're getting a musical instrument in your little paws, and we invite you to stand up and dance. You can dance in the aisles. You can dance in your seat if you can't stand up for some reason. You can dance in the back if you want more room, or you can dance in the front. You can dance on the stage.
Jake, can you show us that slide of Hafiz?
Come on, where's my shaker?
Love sometimes wants to do us a great favor. Hold us upside down and shake all the nonsense out. So today, our program is all about creativity. And sometimes you have to shake things up a little bit, do things differently. Stand on your head, walk this way. So try moving in a different way than you usually do. Maybe you're a seasoned disco dancer and you know all the moves and stuff. Do something different. Dance like Elaine from Seinfeld or something. So try moving in a different way, because when you move in a different way, you create new energy pathways, and that wakes up new parts of your creative brain. We're ready. Roll. Some of you, like me, I am not.
May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Let the dancing song be heard. May the music say the word and fill the sky with sailing birds. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Learn to follow, learn to lead. Feel the rhythm, feel the need. To reap the harvest of the seed. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance between. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Everybody turn and sing. Let your body burn to rest. And like a willow in the wind. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. A child is born before the star. A time for joy, a time to cry. Take it as it passes by. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Morning star comes out at night. Without the darker is so wide. Keep nothing strong and nothing tight. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let the sunshine, let it rain. Share the laughter, bear the pain. And round we go our dance. Let it be a dance.
I have to say especially congratulations to those of us in this room who feel like we have 3 left feet. That's me, okay? Everyone give yourself a round of applause.
I gotta get my breath. So, we have some kiddos here today, and now we're going to sing them down to their very own, very fun room. What's that? Oh, so Sharon needs another helper. Maria. Yay. So, go. Let us sing them to their room. a circle of life. And you'll share your joys and concerns. Kathy, yeah. Kathy will conduct the offertory. To you I give, together we share, and from this we live.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live.
Okay. And now I get to talk to you about our speaker, our UUUC music man, Sean Shea. For 36 years, I've had the privilege of knowing Sean not only as my husband, but also as my partner in music, spirituality, and life's incredible journey. Making music has always been intertwined with spirituality for Sean, enhancing his personal meditation practice and sharing his original songs with congregations, concerts, and other musical events. He's also passionate about helping others unblock their creative flow and nurture their relationship with the divine. I have firsthand experience of Sean's gift of nurturing creativity in others through taking singing lessons with him many years ago. That's how it all got started. We were sitting across from each other while Sean would pluck the strings of the beautiful tambura, which, if you don't know, is this huge, we had a male tambura. It was a huge instrument with a big gourd on one end. And it was a magical time of heart opening, getting in touch with my soul, which sparked a deep healing that would often release a flood of tears just spontaneously, tears of joy and release. Also came with a nice bonus that we fell in love soon, and we were soon married. Didn't take very long. I mean, the spirit was there, I guess. So Sean also introduced me to the art of drumming, the tabla drums, which opened up a lifelong passion for percussion that I still enjoy 36 years later. After years of teaching in school settings, Sean felt called to retire to found Underground Music. Now he can focus fully on empowering folks of all ages through individual lessons and intensive music courses. It is now my honor to introduce my sweet husband, bestest friend, and fun musical partner, Sean.
Thank you. It's so great to be here with you. Before I yak at you, I'd like to share a beautiful song. And this song came to me. Okay. This song came to me late at night after sitting and reading some Rumi poetry. As you can tell by our choices of readings, Rumi is close to my heart and has been for a long time. And this one night, I had just really had this warm, glowing feeling from from imbibing Rumi's poetry, and I sat down to meditate before going to bed, turned out the light, and these words started coming to me, and I was just like, I think I need to write this down. It might be good. So I turned on the light, grabbed a notebook or something, and scribbled these words really quickly. The next morning, I looked at it and said, wow, that's really profound. That's like, that could be a song. So I picked up my guitar, I noodled around a little bit, and I was like, oh yeah, this could be, and this, and I found it, and it's like, there was just one part that was like, there was something missing, it seemed like. It was like, so I filled in the blanks, and this is what eventually came out. And one of the things that really struck me about this, was that it seemed like it was a kind of like a love letter from my muse, kind of just coaching me about how to approach this art of creativity, how to be creative. It was like, this is your instruction manual. In the world of office chairs, be a paper airplane sailing out the window. In a college of professors, be an innocent child playing ball in the halls. In a circus of fools, be the wise juggler who can keep his hopes aloft despite the pull of gravity and shifting winds. In a field of flowers, be a bee who gathers nectar and returns home to the hive. In a forest of masks, be a lighted trail leading to yourself. In the voice of playfulness rings the wisdom of innocence, like a glimpse of truth beyond space and time. Seeking grace and beauty, leaning into the mystery as I learn to listen to the space between the lines. There's more to the story, though. Yeah. Wouldn't you know it? The tall one's married to the small one.
Not small. Not small. Thank you. All right. So that song, as I said, seemed like it was just like delivered to me by my muse, who each of us we could think of has their own muse that's specifically tuned into our needs. It's like our guardian angel or our guiding spirit or whatever. That's how I think of it anyway. And muses have been inspiring people from ages, time immemorial. The ancient Greeks talked about having a family, 9 sisters that were, each one of them was deputed for serving a particular kind of creative profession or art or craft. Some of them were, if you were a scientist, then you had one muse that kind of guided you and inspired you. If you were a musician or a poet or a painter or a dancer or a school teacher or a politician or whatever, everyone had a muse that they could turn to for guidance. You can think of your muse as just an extension of your own creative self, your personality, your intuition, your spirit, your soul. You could think of it as a divine being in the highest heavens that's transmitting broadcasts to you at any moment that you need it, when you least expect it. Doesn't matter how you think of the muse, but if you think of the muse, you will get some help. So this song, there was the one line that was missing from the song that I filled in the best way I could was this line, and I'm going to show you the original version. Jake, if you can pull up that other slide. The way you heard it just now was not the way I wrote it down that night. This is what I came up with. With all your cunning and cleverness, you cannot write a line that glows with life like the one that comes uninvited. Because the song just sort of dropped down out of the sky. I didn't think about it. It wasn't premeditated. Okay, write your lines, but learn to listen to the space between the lines. So that really intrigued me, and yet it was my cunning and clever mind that came up with those lines. So I was kind of shooting myself in the foot from the get-go. I was painting myself into a corner and saying, all of the really good poetry, all the really great songs are just like divinely inspired and just get out of the way and they'll come. So I was setting a very, very high bar for creativity, that it had to be like I was not even, part of the equation. I was just like a receiver. And there's a problem with that because I didn't get the whole transmission, maybe. Maybe I tuned out my receiver just at the critical moment, and I missed those last words from my muse, and it was like, okay, well, I'll have to come up with something myself. 10 years later, after singing this song many times with those lines, which I came to realize that this is reinforcing a very limiting belief, that you cannot write a line that glows with life, like the one that comes uninvited. So I was like, okay, well, if it's not perfect, why even bother? And anyone in this room struggle with perfectionism? Come on, you're safe here. This is Perfectionists Anonymous here. I'm just inveterate. I'm a perfect perfectionist. I even wrote a song called The Perfect Song, which I'll share with you another time. It's all about that. And that song took me 7 years to write. So, at any rate, I am very grateful for whatever that source is that sometimes just bombs me with grace that I didn't work for. I won't say that I don't deserve, because I think every child deserves grace. In fact, I think anyway, if you're a musician, that means something. But the words that then this came, I took it back to the drawing board. I said, okay, if I'm going to have to work for this song and hammer it out on the workbench a little bit and use my craft of, my intellect and so forth, then I can do better than that. So, Jake, can you show us what it came back to? The other way, the last there, okay? So this, and the stanza before it. So seeking grace and beauty, leaning into the mystery, as I learn to listen to the space between the lines. And there's another line also, in the voice of playfulness. That playfulness is so important. If we take ourselves too seriously as creative people, we feel like, I'm going to do this right. And, so there's a quote that is often attributed to Thomas Edison, although I think there was a woman that he kind of stole it from, or it got kind of assigned to him because he was more famous and she was nobody, but it usually goes that way. But there's something about it. He said that genius is 99% perspiration and 1% inspiration. Well, I don't know what your recipe calls for, but there's definitely a mix. That you have to get a little bit of that perspiration into the dough, or it doesn't work. But that 1% maybe of inspiration is essential. It's the spark that gives rise to the dough. It is that spark of life that infuses our own body, that animates us. We can't do without that little bit of inspiration. It may not weigh on the scale the same, but it's the most powerful thing, and you have to have the inspiration. So whatever the proportion is of ingredients, you find your own mix, but don't go without the inspiration. And so how do we nurture that flow of inspiration? That's what we're talking about. Because a friend of mine asked, he was talking about that those sudden bursts that sometimes we get of, like most of the song, the space between the lines, just kind of like, wow, it's like a sudden epiphany, right? Doesn't always work like that. But if we get a taste of that little burst, like the lightning flash, then we're hungry for it. And can I put up a lightning rod somehow and attract that again? Another way to look at it, besides the electricity analogy, is the sudden downpour, the shower of grace that just out of a clear blue sky, it's all of a sudden just flood of I can't even write down the words fast enough. But then sometimes you're in drought and you're like, come on, I'm praying for a little drop. Sometimes those drops of inspiration don't come in a flood. They come as tiny little droplets, like a fine mist that you almost miss. Look for inspiration in the common things of everyday life. If you collect those little droplets, you'll have enough to quench your thirst. So, there's a wonderful book. We didn't bring the books, did we? All right. See this book I'm holding up here? You all have an imagination, right? A wonderful book called The Artist's Way. Anyone heard of The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron? It's been a bestseller for probably at least 30, 40 years. I don't know how long. Long time. It's been around. And creative people of all walks of life have found great practical wisdom in this. I'm going to read a few lines from Julia Cameron. Not all of them in her book, because they might be in another book, or she didn't just finish one thing and say, okay, I'm done. I did my opus. Y'all can carry on from now. She keeps creating. But in order to have a real relationship with our creativity, we must take the time and care to cultivate it. Our creativity will use this time to confront us. Sometimes we need that. To confide in us, to bond with us, and to plan. So you could think of your relationship with your creativity. Call it a muse, call it your higher self. I don't care what you call it, just call it. Having that relationship, having somebody to talk to. You can, the ancient Greeks, I think one of the reasons that they had this pantheon of different deities was so that they could have these kind of conversations. And even, let's throw some devils in there, because that creates an interesting storyline, right? So here's what I propose. If you're up for it, whatever your creative project is, and creativity, mind you, is not just the artists, the musicians, the poets, the painters, the people that are those weirdos that for some reason we tolerate, even though they're not really productive members of society. But we figure that there's some good reason to keep them around on the payroll still. Creativity also is how we're going to balance the budget this year. It's like this is a practical problem that we're scratching our heads. We have to look at it. It might be the guy who figured out the chemical structure of the benzene molecule. He was like, how do you balance these valences? This doesn't make any sense. All of my models don't fit. And then he just gave up. Late at night, he turned off the internet, and went to sleep. He just drowsed off. And he had a dream of a snake that was coiled in a circle, and he was biting his own tail. And he woke up. It was like such a startling vision. And he said, that's it. The benzene molecule is shaped in a circle, and that's how all the positive and negative valences work. And it turned out that was exactly, and then later on, they took a picture of it and said, yep, he was right. So it could be that you're trying to come up with some new technology to solve the problems of climate change, or to clean the toxins out of the ocean, or to figure out how to get along with your spouse or communicate with your kids. It takes creativity to solve all kinds of problems. You can apply this to anything. Okay, so Julia Cameron, in her manual for creative people of all kinds, recommends, guess what? Keep a journal. Every day, she says, morning pages. Now, don't ask me if I'm doing this religiously myself, because I'm a hypocrite, but I can recommend it to other people. But keeping a journaling is not necessarily one form. You have to have, I didn't even bring my journal to show you that I do have one. But you can do it on your iPad. You can do it on scraps of paper. One of my favorite ways to sit down and just blurt out stuff so that I can see it reflected is scraps of paper. My old order of service from this week is going to be my journal paper next week, because guess what? It's cheap, and I don't have to feel like, oh, I better get it just right before I spoil this nice, pristine white page in my blank book. So I use lots of scrap paper. I got clipboards with scrap paper all over the house. Your voice recorder, you're going on a walk at the park, and you got this amazing idea for, hey, this is what we need to get some new people in the church. Quick, I had this idea today. Let me think. And you just talk to your muse. And you ask your muse, hey, what do you think of this? Oh, yeah, that's a great idea. Thanks I hadn't thought of that angle. Okay? So have an ongoing conversation. Write love letters to your muse. Write hate letters to the resistance that is getting in your way and telling you can't do it anymore. Okay? Tell them, hey, you get behind me. I'm not listening to this voice anymore. I'm going to listen to this. You can have a puppet show. So this is what I was going to suggest. Whatever form you want to do it. Create a short story. Make a skit. And put these characters up. Personify these voices in your head so that you can get them out of your head and see them and say, oh my God, what a nasty idea. Why is this devil always suggesting that I can't do it? And my muse is saying, yes, we can do it. Try looking at it a different way. Oh, yeah, whoa, I didn't think of that. Shake it up a little bit. Try something new. Move in some weird way, right? This feels weird, it's like, there's a comedian, Steve Martin. Any of you remember him from when you were kids? And he was dumb, but he was kind of funny. And he would get up on stage and he'd say, how do people ask me how I do this? And are you so funny? And he said, well, before I get on stage, I put a piece of bologna in my shoe and I feel funny. Okay? So whatever tricks you can pull out that, put your glasses on upside down maybe, whatever, gets you thinking outside the box, coloring outside the lines, because sometimes we have to do things differently. If you keep doing it the same way over and over again, you'll end up where you're already headed. Okay? Albert Einstein said, you can't solve a problem by thinking at the same level of the problem. You have to come up with some new ideas. All right. So that means that we have to sometimes be not only a little bit shaking it up, but sometimes we have to be patient and wait. Like this song that I was like, thought I got it right, but I didn't sit long enough maybe. And our creative ideas, we sometimes think of this as our brainchild, right? Well, this is what Julia Cameron has to say about our brain children. What we do not realize is that brain children, like all babies, should not be dragged from the creative womb prematurely. We must learn to wait for an idea to hatch. Sometimes you have to sit on it a little bit. Let it stew. Give it proper gestation time. And that means that sometimes your first impulse that you jot down on that scrap paper, or you go ahead and commit in ink in your little blank book. Maybe it's not quite right, but if you judge it prematurely, it's like one of my worst habits, as my perfectionist brain likes to control things, is that, and I used to really struggle with this in elementary school. I could not write an essay because I was planning out all the chess moves way in advance. If I say this, then I'll have to, think about where that'll connect, and my pen was like frozen in air. I couldn't start writing because I had to figure out where it's all going to go. You don't necessarily have to do it sequentially, write the first paragraph first. Start from the middle and then work your way out. Go backwards, write the thrilling conclusion and then figure out how to get there. There's a million ways to get there. Okay? So if you're looking for the roadmap, you don't necessarily have to have the blow-by-blow instructions on how to get from point A to point B. It's not a linear path. There's a million ways to get there. And if you start going down one path and you find out there's a roadblock there, creative blockage comes up and thwarts your efforts, we got another way. We got a shortcut around here and around the backside, and there's a million ways to get there, okay? So just be ready to change your direction at any moment. Then there's also the effort, the perspiration that you have to put in. And one of the great guides for this is Stephen Pressfield. He is a warrior. He actually literally is a veteran. He was in the military, and he wrote some great screenplays and novels, and some terrible ones also. He said his first novel took him 20 years to get published, but he didn't give up, okay? And he says, we must sit down each day and do our work, and then power concentrates around us. The muse takes note of our dedication. She approves. We have earned favor in her sight. When we sit down and work, we become like a magnetized rod that attracts iron filings. Ideas come. So, whatever your recipe is, maybe you don't, I don't ever cook with recipes, by the way. Somebody comes to me and says, oh, how did you make that soup? That's so amazing. I said, I don't know, I've never done it before, and I'll never make it the same way again. But I have some general principles. I look in the fridge and I see what vegetables we have, and let's throw some in this, and I start, what spice would go well with this? I already have some turmeric, so maybe ginger would go well with this, or whatever. Anyway, you may not have an exact recipe, may not have an exact roadmap, but start somewhere, and then you will find the path as you go along. Okay, so I think we're going to shift to, there's one more beautiful quote that I came across from Julia Cameron. Two quotes, okay? One is, it goes with our dance that we did. Let it be a dance we do. She says, life is a spiritual dance, and our unseen partner has steps to teach us if we will allow ourselves to be led, which I'm not always that good at that. I try to lead it, and then I realize that, we're supposed to be going backwards instead of forwards. But the next time you are restless, remind yourself, it is the universe asking, shall we dance? So this next quote, when I came across it, it was like, wait a minute. Julia Cameron is plagiarizing my song? But she probably said it before I did, so I didn't discover it until later, or else I could have just copied her. But she said, one life, one life, one love, one energy runs through all of creation. This life is spirit, an inner river that can be tapped into at any time. That river of spirit is circulating in our bloodstream. It is the energy that animates every cell of our body, and even the spark of energy in every atom. It is the vibration of the creative power that has been since the world began, resonating, resounding through the universe, and it is in our own self. We can tap into that at any moment. So let's settle in our seats, and we're going to have a musical meditation. If you feel like singing along, you're welcome to join us, especially on the chorus. Or you can just close your eyes and go deep into your own source of creative inspiration. There is a river flowing underground. There's a stream of elixir from the ocean of sound. You can tap into the current
if you dig deep down in your soul. Be still and let it flow into your vessel. Refill your thirsty reservoir with essence of your soul. There's a river flowing under the ground. There's a stream of elixir from the ocean of sound. You can tap into the current if you dig deep down in your soul. Listen, if you are silent, you can hear it. This is the whispered secret of the Spirit in your soul. There's a river flowing under the ground. There's a stream of elixir from the ocean of sound. You can tap into the current if you dig deep down in your soul. Water, when it is still, is like a mirror. Gather your scattered wits and you'll see clearer in your soul. There's a river flowing under the ground. There's a stream of elixir from the ocean of sound. You can tap into the current if you dig deep down in your soul. Enter into the stillness of the moment. Be present for the beautiful unfoldment of your soul. There's a river flowing under the ground. There's a stream of elixir from the ocean of sound. You can tap into the current if you dig deep down in your soul. In
Wouldn't you know it?
All your stuff is in my way. And Sean has one more quote for us. Oh, I thought you were going to have a quote. Okay, now we have Marianne Williamson's beautiful words on our deepest fear. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us.
We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God.
Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you.
We are all meant to shine, as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone.
And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. So now, where is the traveling mic? Right here. Oh, you've got it, Kathy. Okay, Kathy's going to do the responses for the audience, the congregation. If you have something you want to share or discuss with Sean or each other.
Thank you so much. I want to share that I've been collecting rocks for over 25 years and separating them into buckets and piles for my great creation I was going to do in my garden. Well, I think most of you know that I'm moving probably the end of June, and I had all those buckets and all these rocks. And a guy who helps me with my garden said, "Connie, what are you going to do with those?" And I go, I don't know. He says, "You have to do something with those rocks." So I am in the midst of making my rock creation in my garden.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
Thank you. How inspiring. Excuse me. The music, oh, so beautiful. I really liked how you included what you had considered to be your mistake or the lines that were going the wrong direction, because that was very much part of your growth and your process. Mm-hmm. And I just wanted to add that drought that you were talking about, it can be a very beautiful, fertile time as well. And I want to tell you a quick little story. Just finishing my 27th year of teaching, and when students say, "I don't know what to write, I can't do it," I love that when that happens. And I always tell them, "Well, that's what you're writing about then." And the other day, well, it's spring break, but a couple of weeks ago, we were in a creative writing session, and one of my students said, I don't have anything. I don't know what to write. And one of the students in front of him turned around and said, "Well, that's what you're writing about." And I thought, oh, well, that's so great. Mm-hmm. But it never fails that if they will put the pencil to the paper or type it out, whichever they're using, and start with the lines, "I have nothing to write," or "I have nothing to say," it never fails that they finish up with this wonderful thing that takes our breath when they read it to us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you, Kathy. There's a another one of my favorite. I can't come up with the favorite Rumi quote, but I saw this one. It was like, oh my God. He said, "Do not look for water. Look for thirst." And when I came up with that line, that was what I needed at the time. You know, it served the purpose at that time. And then when it no longer served me, and I said, you know what? I think we can do better. So if I hadn't sat down and you know, done what I could do at that time with the awareness that I had, maybe the song never would have been born. So, thank you.
Anyone else?
I'm in the process of such a creation opportunity, and when you let us go into our own heads and follow your words, I thought before that I was dealing with an infant who was frightened. And then I realized, no, I am dealing with a sense of self that's trying to become, and that it got screwed up by being frightened is only a small thing. And that just, walked in over there and came right into my mind. So thank you.
That's wonderful, JC. Thanks.
Well, I fell off my roof 25 years ago or something, and I was in bed for 6 weeks with a wheelchair, and I did The Artist's Way, and it was a perfect time for me to do it because I just could. A lot of time. Yeah, I was just there in bed, healing my feet, and it was really good. And I did the morning pages for several years after that, but during that time, I did a lot of art with my feet because they were my subject of healing. So I have healing feet all around me now, and
Nice.
I love that.
No, you just stay here too, because we're going to do. Oh, okay. So next, we'll have our closing words, which are from Lynn Cox, and this is a responsive reading. So you guys on the left side, you'll read with me, and on the right side, you'll read with Sean.
So you guys are going to follow her. You guys are going to follow me. I think that's
Yeah, I said that.
left comes first. Susie's going first. And which one is left?
Oh, my left. I thought the ones right in front of me would be obvious. Sorry. I guess you're not
whatever.
psychic enough.
You guys go with her. You guys come with me.
Okay.
And we're going to call ourselves right, even though for you that would be dyslexic.
All right. So, or is it up? Can you? We hope so. Come on,
Prayer
Jake.
of co-creation.
Okay. So ready, guys? Creative Spirit, source of life and love, we give thanks for the beauty of this day and for the company of those assembled here.
Thank you. Thank you for the breezes of change, clearing our heads and bringing fresh ideas. May they cleanse our minds of the oppressions and isms that divide us.
Thank you for the flame of hope, the heat of righteous anger, the warmth of compassion, and the fire of commitment. May they bubble the cauldrons of transformation.
Thank you for oceans of love, rivers of connection, tears of relief, and pools of serenity. May healing waters flow over us and through us and among us, wearing down the sharp rocks of despair to bring joy in the morning.
Thank you for the good earth beneath us, around us, and within us. May we take this clay and co-create a new realm of justice and beauty.
Thank you for all these and more. We accept our gifts and commit to building, sculpting, painting, singing, and dancing them to life, to abundant life.
So be it. Blessed
Blessed
be.
be.
Amen. Okay, and then before extinguishing the chalice, some final words from Rumi called the eternal candle. The eternal candle is the source of my shine. That eternal beauty is behind my rhyme. Without that candle, without that beauty, how could I ever have my share in life? So now let's take our message out to the people with Go Lift It Up. Make our circle. Thank you, everyone, for bearing with me.